So an hour of driving and about 2 coffees later, we're finally here at Wyaralong Dam. And just in time, the sun's coming up right now. The actual plan was to get here about 20 minutes before, but as usual with shoots like this, I got delayed. It took a little bit longer with everything. So we're getting here just as the sun's coming up. But honestly, if you've seen my first video, I'm sort of trying to go with that abstract effect that I created in that video, which really doesn't require sunset light because everything's probably going to end up in black and white from this morning. At least that's what I've shot the last 2 times I've been at this spot. And I really like that style, and it's sort of a special thing I do when I go to this place. So I thought, why not? And funnily enough, I meant to meet Julien here, and he's also late, but I beat him here. So I'm going to probably go down, scout out the area, see if I can find some compositions. It'll be a little bit different from a traditional landscape photography video. It'll probably be, a lot more free-flowing, but hopefully it should be fun. So we'll head on down to the dam right here, and hopefully it'll be good. Follow along. I didn't factor in from the last time that I went to this spot is all the rain we've had. What was normally just a pretty easy walk through relatively high grass in the past. My gosh, now the grass is almost up to waist level, and it's actually pretty terrifying walking through because you never know what's going to be in the grass. And I do have my gaiters on, I got my snake bite kit, I got the personal locating beacon, so I should be fine if anything happens. But it's still pretty nerve-wracking walking through the grass at this height and on my own because Julien still isn't here. I don't know where he is. He probably just slept in. Let's hope I'm fine going down because I'm almost at the shoreline, and hopefully we'll be able to grab some photos then. I think I've settled on the first photo for the day. So as I was walking down, I was noticing this one tree over the other side of the dam which was just catching some beautiful morning light. And I thought I'd quickly try and capture that just before the light goes away. I know I said I wasn't going to go for any photos like this, but I thought, oh, I might as well. The light's here anyway. Do a quick rush and maybe have that photo as a warm-up. Put the camera on the tripod with the long lens, zoomed out to about 350 millimeters, and I'll show you what I've focused on here. I've just tried to focus on this tree right here off in the distance. It just had some really nice light coming off of it, and I'll show you what I have framed up here on my camera. I may or may not have deleted a little bit of footage in this. So the screen recordings that you're meant to be seeing as I talk over the footage of my compositions, I may have accidentally formatted that when I reformatted my card without actually putting it on the hard drive. So as an alternative, and the best I can do, I'm going to put the raw files up as I explain the composition, and you guys will sort of just have to follow along with that. But I've learned my lesson. I won't be accidentally deleting any more footage, and hopefully this is the last time that I have to do this. But enjoy the video. It's just going to be a little bit less sensical. But hope you enjoy the video anyway. Thanks for watching. So what I've got framed up here on my camera is I have this large tree which I pointed out in the first place in my composition, and then I have 2 more off to the right side and sort of in a decreasing size. And I thought that would work really nicely with the composition just because it sort of creates a descending triangle through the scene. So it sort of guides you from the largest object on the left side to the smallest on the right. Same as the way you read a book, you'll read from the left to the right, so it feels a bit more natural. If I were to flip the image around, or if I was to arrange the elements in any other way, it probably wouldn't be as cohesive. But I'm pretty happy with this as an overall composition. To me, it's just a warm-up shot. I'm not crazy on it, and I'm sure I'll be able to get much better things today, but I just saw this light and I thought, might as well take that image. So I will put up the result for you to see, and let me know what you think. Tell me if you agree with what I said. And yeah, going to be shooting this one at 1:10 seconds, f11 ISO 100. And let me know what you think. heading back down the path a little bit to the spot that I normally go to when I go to this location. Decided to go a little bit further today for that last composition, and I'm not too sure if it worked out nicely. I hope it did. You guys would know. I'm not too sure yet, but let's hope so. Anyway, it's a bit difficult getting down to the area that I normally go to, because what's normally sort of a worn down path through the long grass has just been revitalized after all these rains, and it is just awful to get down. I mean, just looking at it now, it looks like Snakebite Central. I'm going to try and find a safe spot to get down into this area, but it's going to be a bit challenging. I'll show you what I'm trying to work with here. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm starting from here on the path, and normally there's sort of a worn down trail to get me all the way over to this little silo right there. But I am challenged with this ankle-high grass. Who knows what's in it? And I've already got a bunch of seed pods on my legs, which is not fun. But again, I'll try and get down here. Julien still hasn't shown up. At some point he's going to show up on that horizon there with his little car. But I honestly have no clue what happened to him. I just got a vague message saying he's going to be a bit late, but I mean, it's probably nearly half an hour after sunrise now. So Julien might show up, he might not show up, but either way, we'll try and get some good photos. And when we finish shooting, we'll ask him where the hell he is. That was quite a mission to get through, but I'm now officially covered in seed pods, and I've made it down to the silo where I was planning on going in the first place. And honestly, that was such a challenge to get down here, I don't think I'll be moving again. Julien is still nowhere to be seen. I actually realized I don't even have signal, so the messages I've been sending him, he either hasn't been getting them or I haven't been receiving them. So for all I know, he could be somewhere around here, but I have no clue. So I suppose when I finish today, I'll go up and see if his car is parked by mine. I have heard some weird clapping noise off in the distance for about the last 5 minutes. I have no clue what it could be. I don't think it could be like a bird or anything like that. For all I know, it could be clapping to try and find me, but I guess that's its own thing. So I'll just hang out here for now, try and snap some photos. I don't think I'll be doing much more moving just because it is so miserable to get around here. But I'll show you what I'm going to be trying to do with my long lens. So what I'm going to be focusing on is the reflections of these trees right here. And I'm going to be trying to put them in black and whites and trying to create some sort of abstraction, almost like a piece of impressionist art. And hopefully it'll work out right. I got a pretty dodgy setup going here, where I just have the camera tucked right into the bush, and I'm going to be pretty much pressed alongside it, trying to capture images on it. It's going to be a bit awkward of a setup, but hopefully we'll be able to get something. The light's starting to come in now, which is giving a bit more contrast to the reflections in the water, so I think it's, timing-wise, I think it's perfect. So we'll start snapping off some shots, and I'll run you through the compositions as I find them. So I found my first abstract shot that I'm going to be taking for the day, and one thing that I love about this kind of photography, and I really encourage people to try it, is it's just very feeling based. I'm not looking out into the water here looking for compositions. I'm sort of just playing with my camera, pointing it along those reflections, and then seeing something that sort of speaks to me. And that's really actually how I captured this composition. I barely moved the ball head from when I placed the camera, and I just zoomed in on the reflections that it was already pointing at, and I thought, wow, that looks really nice. So I'll show you what I'm working with on the camera here. I'll start the screen capture for you. So this is what I'm working with here in frame, and what I really like about it is that there's that one tree on the left that sort of separates itself from the mass, and the little tree in the middle between that and the larger mass, I think it sort of creates it creates some sort of emotion of loneliness for that tree in the middle, is how I'd say. Now, what I'm going to be doing in the edit with this one is I'm going to be putting it in black and white and then flipping it upside down. So right now what you're seeing on the screen is going to have a very different feel from what's going to actually show up in the photo preview. And I also think that this is a really cool thing to do with the reflection shots, is actually flipping them upside down. Because the one thing that I love about these kinds of photos is that you really create a surreal world, where it's almost like reality is melting away. But I'll snap this shot and show you what the final version looks like, and let me know what you think, because I'll be taking a few more of these, and hopefully there's some nice ones. Just moved up a bit further up the hill, and I've settled on another composition. I also just checked my phone, and apparently Julien tried to call me on Instagram. A little bit of a noisy car down there. Apparently he tried to call me on Instagram, he tried to call me on my phone. I actually don't have any signal. I tried to give him a call back, but it wouldn't work. But honestly, if he is where we agreed to meet, which is where I'm standing right now, he should have both seen my car and sort of have an idea of where I went. So the fact that he hasn't come down here, I even did a big yell out of his name as loud as I could. No response. So I honestly have no clue where he is. I got a feeling I'm going to go up to my car and he's not going to be there. And I'm also not going to have any signal. So I'll probably have to drive into town to go and find him. So this might be the final shot for the day. But I'll go ahead and show you what I got here. This one's a little bit more abstract than I had with the first few, but I actually really like the way that it's working out. So I'll show you what I have framed up here in the camera. So what I've tried to do here is I've tried to work with the ripples of the water, because at the moment you can tell that there's wind moving across it, and I've sort of tried to use that in a way to further abstract an already abstracted image, where the tree branches are now sort of becoming obscured, almost as if they're surrounded by some sort of ethereal fog when you flip them upside down. At least that's my intent behind it. But the scene has changed so much even from when I first framed it up, so I'm really going to have to wait on this one and try and time it out. But I'm probably going to be taking this one, same settings as before, 1:40, f11, ISO 100, and after that we'll continue our quest for finding where Julien is, because I have no clue where he could be. I'm exactly where we agreed to be. He's the one who said to meet here, and I am here. So maybe he canceled on me? I have no idea, but I don't think he would, so yeah. I'll take this one and then we'll go find Julien. Alright, just got out of the top grass and heading back up the hill to the car now. If Julien listened to the plan this morning, he should be parked pretty much right beside me. Although, for some reason, I have a feeling he's not going to be. But I guess you'll find out as well. I'll flip the camera and we'll have a big reveal, which is probably not going to be a surprise. Alrighty. So here's the gate. And I can see my car, but it doesn't look like Julien's here. And I have no signal to try and find him. So it's a mystery to me. I suppose I'll try and find him. And maybe he can explain why he's sort of disappeared. So as they say, it's to be continued. So I left you guys while I was looking for Julien, and I decided I'd drive back to Beaudesert because I could see that he'd been calling me and I had no signal, so I wasn't able to call him back. And I honestly had no clue what happened because, the instructions were so clear. Meet at the tower at sunrise, and I was right below the tower.
After sunrise.
And then I get to Beaudesert, I give Julien a call, and it turns out he was there on the other side of the road. And because I didn't have signal, I didn't know that. So we both shot sunrise at the same location without even knowing where each other were. And now we're back in Beaudesert enjoying a coffee. How did your morning go?
Yeah, my shoot was good.
Yeah.
Not that I was waiting for you for hours.
I was waiting for you for hours.
Glad that you're alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, we're both alive. Nothing horrific happened along the way. So I think that's a fitting conclusion. So I'll leave you guys here. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Like, and make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.